guys, it has been a while since I did a makeup tutorial, but today we're gonna go in and do a really quick makeup tutorial, a really fresh, clean, natural makeup using Merit Cosmetics. So they did send me this kind of like gift box right in here with a few of the new products. Merit is currently carrying in Sephora right now, so they want to try and see how I feel about the new cosmetics line. So we're gonna go in and unbox a few of the new products right in here and see if the color really match my skin, and we're gonna do first impression to see if I really like the brand and how the formulation is gonna be. So let's go in and unbox all these new products. Okay, so before we start, we're gonna go in and kind of open this Red Bull thing. It's like got like a whole kind of different flavor Red Bulls pack, and this is the strawberry apricot flavor. So let's see how this one tastes. Trying to hype myself up before I'm doing like this video, because it's currently like, I think it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm like low on energy. Interesting taste. I can taste the strawberry. It tastes very tropical. It's okay. Okay, so I know that I haven't been doing a makeup tutorial for a while since we did our a vacation vlog, because I technically kind of like need a vacation for my vacation. And if you haven't watched my vacation vlog, I'm going to link those links right down below. That is include like 2 different videos in Cancun. So yeah, so if you haven't watched those videos, we're going to link those videos below. I'm going to put it up right in here somewhere. But today we're going to go in and unbox this products right in here from Merit. I think I pronounced that right. If I didn't pronounce it right, let me know in the comments. So they did send me this as a gift. So this is not really like a sponsor. They say they send it as a gift, so I don't have to be like marked as sponsor or anything. So they want to see how I feel about the new makeup line, because it's currently carrying at Sephora. And as a ex-Sephora employee, and we know that there's a lot of new products in Sephora that is really great, and some product is not that great. So we'll go in and see how good or not good. We'll see. This is going to be my first impression using Merit Cosmetics. So they gave a card with nothing in it. Cool. So the first thing in this package is this little pouch right in here. So what Merit is all kind of like natural products. Let me read a little bit information about this before I give you the packaging. So in the mission statement, it said we're Merit. We make well edited essential that have earned a place in your vanity. Self-care should be safe. So we create products that are clean and high performance. So the reason why she created Merit, because I believe the story is when she was pregnant and she lived in Europe, and Europe have a little bit more like a different it's a little bit harsher on cosmetics, on ingredients that you can put in their ingredients. I think she said there's like 1,317 toxins that are banned in in Europe, that is not banned like here in the US. So it's a little bit more stricter in skincare brand. That's why when you go to Paris and you go to the pharmacy, it's have a little bit more like better formulation in skincare. So she's create this kind of like cosmetics that is better for your skin, because this whole cosmetics have free of 1,328 common toxin, paraben free, sulfate free, also artificial fragrance free, and is safe for sensitive skin also. And beyond that, it's going to be cruelty free, vegan, recycled packaging. This one, reusable makeup bag, throw in a washing machine and cold to refresh it. So yeah, so this whole line is going to be cruelty free. Majority going to be all like vegan products. If you're all having a little bit more like a sensitive skin, or your skin tend to break out with other like non-toxin or American products, try this product to see if it's going to be better for your skin, because it's have a lot of like, especially for artificial fragrance free, a lot of American products does have like this strong fragrance in it, and this one I believe it doesn't. So we're gonna go in and unbox this to see. So first of all, I kind of love this pouch packaging. It's really like environmental friendly. So it's have like a tie right here, so you can just put all your cosmetic and you can just tie it and throw it in your purse. Well, this kind of like a little bit big for your purse, but if you could travel, put this in your luggage and you'll be done. For me personally, this is a little bit small for when I travel because I practically carry all my makeup with me. But that's a good idea if you like travel really light or you're just using a few products for travel. And here are their packaging. So this is all the products that she sent me. So we're gonna go in and try. I did order I think there's a foundation stick in here that I did order like a different shade because I was afraid that the shade they gave me is not gonna be like correct, because I just came back from like the vacation, so I was getting a little bit more darker in shade, and I ordered this like before I went on vacation, so the color I picked out is a little bit more lighter. So I ordered a darker shade, but now that my skin is kind of like fading the tan already, so you'll see. We're just gonna go ahead and go in and try it. So first of all, look at all this packaging. It is super cute. This have really cute baby blue aquamarine shade right in here, the same Merit. It's cute, cute. So all of this packaging is environmental friendly. So what they gave me, I think, is foundation stick. There's also like a blush and brows. Yeah, brows. So we're gonna go in and use all these products. Also, they gave me a brush. This is a brush right in here. So we're gonna go ahead and open this brush first. So this is the Merit brush. I'm gonna try on this tutorial to use majority of only this brush and not use any other brush. And first impression with this one is feel pretty light, and the fiber right in here is super soft. Ooh, I wish you can like feel it. If you can see, the fiber right in here is super dense also, and I love me a good dense foundation brush. I'm not sure if this like synthetics or natural fiber though. I feel like it's synthetics, because since it's more like vegan and natural, it's synthetics, right? It should be synthetics. I don't know. I'm not sure. Let me see. So this is clean, vegan, cruelty free. So I think this is a synthetic fiber since it's cruelty free. Yeah. I smell everything, so it smells nice, super soft. It's really lightweight too. It's really similar to like the hourglass brush right in here. Comparing to this brush and the hourglass brush, this does feel a little bit more lighter, and the hourglass does have a little bit more like weight to it. So if you can see the difference between these two. So this one is the Merit and this one is the hourglass. They're both very similar to each other. And I do love this one, but now that I feel this one, I feel like I might like this one a little bit more better because it's a little bit more longer in fiber, also a little bit more denser. And I think this feel might be a little bit more softer than the hourglass one. So they did give me two different, actually they gave me one shade, and then I went to Sephora and ordered a different shade. Wait, hold on. Why is it both the same color? Why is it the same color? It both say Sway on it. I thought I ordered like a different shade to it. Did I happen to order the same shade? I thought I ordered different. No! For some reason I ordered the same shade. Or, yeah, I think I ordered the same shade. Oops. So I guess now they have one for backup for later. No! I thought I ordered like a darker shade for some reason. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and just use one color for this makeup look. So first impression with this so this is kind of like a foundation stick. So all the formulation is a little bit more creamy. That just popped out. No. So this is the foundation. So I guess I did order 2 of the same shade, but first impression, so this is the foundation stick. So majority of the formulation is more into like a cream base. So once you open this, this is how it's gonna come. Right in here, it's just gonna be like a twist up. Ooh, so it's super cute. So this is gonna be my color, and the color I'm using is in Sway. So hopefully this is gonna match my skin. Oh. So before, I already have my skincare on, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put in kind of like a primer. So I'm gonna go in and use the Makeup Forever primer right in here. So this is a Hydra Boost primer. They don't have a primer yet at Merit, so I'm just gonna use my regular primer that I use on my makeup look. Because my skin tends to be a little bit more like I won't say dry, it's more like normal to sometimes dehydrated because the air in LA is super dry. So I use this one to get a little bit more like hydration into my skin. Okay, so now that my primer is in there, now I'm just gonna go in and use this. So you actually can use this as kind of like a concealer. It's really small, it's smaller than most like foundation stick. Like this is the Makeup Forever. It's a little bit more bigger and thicker. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and go in to see if this is gonna match with my skin tone. This might actually match my skin tone perfectly. Can you see it? It's like right here. So it's a little bit more harder for you to see on camera, which is kind of like a good thing, because that means that it's kind of like match with my skin perfectly because you can't see on camera. So usually you swatch it right onto the neck because you want to kind of like match from like the neck up. You don't want to match it with just the skin on your face, because sometimes you tend to wash your face a little bit more often. You use a little bit more vitamin C, brightening serum. You scrub your face a little bit more than like your neck and the rest of your body. So trying to find like kind of like a shade that's kind of like between your like chest area, neck area, and the face area, something kind of like in between. I'll majority go towards something more like a color of your neck, because you don't want to have like really bright and white lighter foundation like up here, and then your neck area gonna be like a different shade. So trying to find something similar to like from your neck up and not from like your head down. Okay, so this color seems to match my skin tone pretty well. I'm gonna try to keep my hair like this as much as possible. So I'm not sure how you're gonna apply this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and usually I like to kind of like put the products onto the brush to kind of like help me control how much products I'm gonna like use. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go in with the Merit brush, trying to blend that out. Since this is more like a natural makeup, I'm trying not to use so much products. So you can see with my skin right in here, I do have a little bit more like a breakout. I had to have a little bit more like a darker circle right underneath here. I do have slight redness also in discolorations right on my cheek right in here, because I have like hormonal breakout. Also right over here, I have like a giant mosquito bites right in here in this corner. So I'm trying to hide it with my hair. Okay, but I do have a little bit more redness. I think my skincare has been really good, so my skin does like, I feel really comfortable with my skin right now. But with this one, for like natural everyday makeup, you just like run out the house. So I just put something like really light. But this, I'm gonna try to use this to like cover my under eye right in here, because then I don't want to use so much foundation when you have like a natural makeup day, or you just want to go out for like an errand. I'm majority using a lot more like towards skincare products nowadays. I feel like this product is perfect for you to have on like your by your sink, and if you have something like just going out or just want to wake up, have a little bit more refresh and kind of like even out your skin tone, this can be kind of like perfect. My first impression with the formulation is actually really creamy. It's more like a velvet. I wouldn't say it's like matte. It's really smooth, and how do I describe this? It's not really like greasy or oily. It's gonna give you a little bit more like a velvet skin-like finish. Does that make sense? So I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little bit more. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do half of my face first. The formulations, like sometimes because I'm more like normal to dry, oily on some areas, so I do have to kind of like powder my face for the foundation to stay on if I'm using more like a liquid foundations. But for this formulation, I feel it's super natural for you to just use this and not going in with like a powder. I think the color actually matched my skin pretty well. So here is the first impressions. Actually, I only did like half of my face. You can tell like the difference. So this half I do have the Merit, I think this is called the Minimalist Perfecting Complexion Stick. Losing my voice. Minimalist Perfecting Complexion Stick. So this is half of my face using with that foundation stick right in here. So I feel like it's really like light to medium coverage. It's not going to give you like a full coverage. If you want something a little bit more fuller, I would go in with another like layer or two. The formulation is really sheer. You can actually still see my freckles, a lot of my freckles right up here. A little bit of my redness is still peeking through, but it's not going to be a lot. It's kind of like match my skin perfectly, so I do love that. So I feel like this is perfect for like a natural, everyday, no makeup look kind of thing. So you can put this next to your like vanity and like use it. I'm gonna put a little bit more from my under eye right in here because I do have a little bit more like darker circles. So I'm gonna put a little bit out here. So you can still see kind of like my darkness right in here. I think that's going to be needing a little bit like color correcting before like natural makeup look. I don't really bother much about it. Majority for like natural everyday makeup, I want something more like neutralize on my skin tone, reduce on my redness, and this really does that. And this feel really hydrating on my skin. I don't feel like I need to like powder my face at all. So this is one side and this is the other side. Tell the difference. So the color is pretty similar to each other. So one side it's just nothing with just skincare primer, and this side does have a little bit more like the foundations. So it does cover pretty good. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and go in and cover my entire face with it. I'm just gonna place this wherever I have a little bit more like redness, color discoloration. I can't pronounce that word right today. Color discolorations. Yeah. So that's look pretty good. Even I do have like a scar right in here from my surgery when I was little. So whenever I do my makeup, I always try to kind of like neutralize it because sometimes it does get a little bit more red, and I hate foundation that doesn't really like match your neck color, because that is kind of like one of my main things that I want to cover is this scar right over here. I think it's a little bit more harder for you to see on camera, but this foundation kind of like cover is pretty good. It's neutralized all your redness, and it doesn't show like a lot of foundations. Like it doesn't show like cakiness. And I just want to go in and test this out to see, because sometimes I do want to have a little bit more like a fuller coverage. So now I'm just gonna go in and try to like layer it to see what happened. So majority I want to layer is gonna be right in here when I have a little bit more like color discolor. I can't say it today. So you know what I meant. So just gonna put right in here. Majority I have a little bit more redness, a little bit more dark spot, hyperpigmentations right in here. So majority I put more my fuller coverage right in there. So just for the test of it, I want to layer this to like a second layer to see what it does. And with the second layer, that's going to give you a little bit more like a medium full coverage, and still it doesn't really feel like cakey. I feel like if you're going to go in with more like a third layer, it does going to feel a little bit more like cakier, because this, since it does give you a little bit more like a cream base, and cream base does get a little bit more thicker as you like build. So I would not go any more than like 2 layers, but so far it's pretty good. It's a little bit right over here. So I think if you get like another color lighter, you can use this as like a concealer underneath your eye to help lightening and brightening your under eye. But since I ordered 2 of the color of the same shade, so I'm just gonna go in really quick off camera to kind of like neutralize my under eye concealer really quick using another concealer. And we also been using the brush, and I kind of loving this brush. I'm gonna use this on majority of my like foundation. I'm gonna try this brush in the future to see if it's gonna work with like liquid. But then I like to go in with like a beauty blender right after to kind of like press everything in, because especially for like a natural makeup, you want your foundation to be really stick into your pores, especially if you're not going to use any powder right on top. So you want to kind of like blend that out as much as possible. So I'm just going to go in with a beauty blender and really press everything in. They also sent me the Flush Bomb. Flush Bomb. So this is going to be kind of like their version of blushes. And this is the packaging of blushes right here. Is super cute. It's Merit. And there is the color right up here. So this is the color that I picked for this video. And the color is in Beverly Hills Flush Bomb Cheek color. It doesn't have any smell in it. That's why I say minimal beauty, fragrance free, cruelty free. So we're gonna go ahead and try this on our cheek. So sometimes I do like to put on a little bit more bronzer, but they don't have bronzer, so we're just gonna go in with the cheek color. So for cheek, I like to kind of like go in directly. I'm gonna put on like the highest point of my cheek. And I think this color is slightly a little bit more sheer, or it's match my skin kind of like, I'm not sure if I like it. It's kind of like match my skin really good, but the color doesn't have really like a lot of pigment, which is a good thing or might be a bad thing. So I'm gonna go in with the brush and blend it out and see what happened. I'm not mad at it. It's give you this really like natural, just wake up, sun kiss glow. The formulation of this one I feel is really hydrating. It's really sheer in, it doesn't have a lot of pigment in here, which is kind of like a good thing if you're gonna go for like a natural makeup look, because you don't want to look like you just got hit by blush. So some blush, it does have really high pigment and you just look like you just got smacked with a brush with full of like blushes pigment, but this one is super sheer, you can barely see it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use my finger. So this is the color of my finger. It's super sheer. It's kind of like matched with my redness on my skin actually. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go in and kind of like tapping that right on top. I low-key kind of like this shade because it's not so like high pigmented. So you can tell like the difference between this side and then this side right in here. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and put on the other side. I'm gonna try this side with like a beauty blender. Actually, this might not pick up that much, so I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this directly. It's really sheer and blendable. I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this with the beauty blender. It's really sheer and blendable. I might be able to work it in with like a darker blush shade also. But so far the formulation is really hydrating. Super blendable with the foundations itself. And I think if you want to have a little bit more like higher pigment with the blush, go in with more like your finger and just kind of like build it up slowly. Just gonna go ahead and put a little bit on top of my nose. I think this is for like really natural girl. I like to have a little bit more like oomph to it. I want to have a little bit more like color, more lively. But this color is really good. I'm gonna try that actually on my eyelid also. I was planning to use this at like my lips also, but I don't think it's having like enough pigment for my lips. But the formulation is feel a little bit more like slipperier than the foundations. So the blush does have a little bit more like sheer pigment. I wish it does have a little bit more like just a little bit more pigment in it. That would be perfect. It's a little bit more sheer for my liking because it's blend out super well. So each time you're kind of like blending it out, it's kind of like sheer out a little bit more. And since it doesn't have to a lot of pigment to start with, but then you still have to blend out your blushes, then it's kind of like fading out to your complexions. But if you look naturally in person, it's a little bit more harder for you to like look on camera because the camera lighting in here is studio lighting is a little bit more like different. But then if you go on for like a natural, I don't know, golden hour makeup look, this can be like a perfect blushes and foundation. This is gonna be like a perfect complexions and blushes combinations. If you're just more like those natural girls, just go in with like a concealer and a little bit blush and get out the house. But for me, I kind of like, even with natural, I like to have a little bit more something in it. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and go, oh, let's do the brows. Let's go in with brows. Okay, so now that my complexion is in there and the natural blush, so usually I do have a little bit more crease for my under eye, so I usually have to go into kind of like powder that area. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go into powder that under eye really quick with another powder products that is not Merit. So this powder is translucent, so it's not going to help change the color or anything. So it's just going to help kind of like set my under eye, a little bit on my forehead and on my nose area where I usually set my makeup. And for like a natural makeup look, you don't want to have like more like a matte face. Also you want some part of it to be a little bit more like dewy, like on the top of your cheek right in here. So each time kind of like you turn, you can see that light and glow right in here. So that kind of like the natural glow picking through. So now we're just gonna go ahead and go in and unbox this brows products right in here. So this is the Brows 1980. I'm not sure why it's called 1980, but this is the full volumizing pomade brows products. So here is the packaging for the Merit brows products right in here. Super cute. I love how the gold packaging. Right, just realize it. This side. So I'm not sure. So this, the color I pick out is brown because I really have the really dark brows already. So I want something a little bit more lighter. And this is the packaging. So the brush itself is kind of like really tiny brush like this compared to other like spoolie that is really large. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and go into use this to brush on my brows. First impression, I do love the color of this one because I do have a little bit more like a darker, I wouldn't say black, more like a dark brown shade here. So I do want to find something a little bit more kind of like neutralize my dark brows a little bit more. So this color I feel like kind of like perfect, and the spoolie size actually kind of like perfect also for the brows. I hate the brows products that have like really giant large spoolie. That's when you like put in it and then it just kind of like get everywhere. So this kind of like perfect. It's not bad. So I feel like the color of this brows does match my natural brows really well. So I haven't used any like brows pencil on it or anything. So this is just my natural brows with just this brows products on it. First impression, I do love the color. I do love the spoolie of it. And the application is really great. I'm not sure how much products is in here. I thought it was like the opposite direction. That is like the products was on this side and then the spoolie part was on this side, but it's kind of like the opposite. So you only get like this much of products for the brows product. Oops, sorry, my camera died. I thought I put fresh battery on it, but it just died. So I forgot where it was. So I think we was talking about the brows. I think the brows is really good. So this is just, I just shaved my brows also, so I kind of like cut off a lot of hair, but this brows product is actually really good also. So I think we already went through all the products that they sent me. That's include the foundation stick, the blushes, and the brows products also. The brushes right here. So far it's pretty good. So this is going to be the final makeup look. Not the final makeup look. So this is the makeup look with all the products that you sent me right in here. So this is what it looks like with all just the foundations, the brushes, the brows, and the blush. But for me personally, when I do my natural makeup, I do go in with a little bit more bronzer. So now I'm just going to go ahead and go off camera to kind of like finishing up my makeup with like a little bit more bronzer, popping my contacts, and I'll be right back to give you the final conclusion of how I really feel about Merit for Sephora products. Okay, so here is the final makeup look that I just finished. I did put on a little bit more like a bronzer, a little bit more like a mascara, put on my contacts, and the brows actually just add in a little bit more of the brows product from Merit, and then put on a little bit of my natural lip color, and that is about it. Oh, and a setting spray. So here is my final thought about the Merit products that they sent me. So they did send me with the foundation stick, the brows products, the blushes, and to blend all that out using the Merit brush. So first off with the foundations right in here. So I do love with the packaging. The packaging, I love it because it's super sleek. It's really like travel size friendly. Oh, it's right in here, but the only thing is if you twist up all the products right in here, there is not a lot of like products right in there. I think this is, let me see how far I can twist this up and see how much. I guess it's a lot of products. So this is all the products you're gonna get in like the Merit foundation stick. It's just gonna be like an inch like that for the foundations. So I'm just gonna go ahead and twist all this down. So you only get like an inch of products right up here. And looking at Sephora website, this foundation stick is gonna cost you about $38 for like 1 inch of foundations. But then you don't need a lot of foundations for traveling. So I don't know, is that like a lot? I think it's around the range of like foundation, but I wish it's have a little bit more like a foundation in it. The formulation itself is really good if you can going for more like really natural makeup. If you're just gonna like wake up, get out the shower, put on like a fresh face of like moisturizer, and you just want to kind of like a little bit light color correcting all those redness, a little bit darkness under your eye, and hyperpigmentation. I say that word, hyperpigmentations around your face. Then this gonna be kind of like work as a foundation concealer at the same time. It's going to be light to medium coverage. If you're looking for something a little bit more like a fuller coverage, you might able to like build this up to full coverage, but then it does get a little bit more cakey if you're going to go for more like the third layer. But definitely for the finish itself, it's going to give you more like a velvet natural finish. After I kind of like finish applying the foundation, it does gonna give you that kind of like dewy glow. So I think this foundation is gonna be great for if you have more like normal to drier skin. With the drier skin, you don't have to put on like powder at all. It's gonna kind of like suck in all the moisture and gonna give you more like a velvet finish. But if you have a little bit more like normal to a little bit more oilier skin, I would recommend using a little bit more like powder right on top, because over time I've been wearing this for like the past like hour. The oil of it does come out a little bit, so I do have to like powder a little bit with these foundations. So over time I feel if you just use a little bit more powder to kind of like set it up so it'll be perfect. But the finish itself is really good. I think I talked about the coverage. It's going to be light to medium. It's not going to cover everything. It's definitely going to be more like a natural finish. For the color range, let me check to see if the color range. So it does have 20 different color that you can choose from. The color I'm using is in Sway. It does have a little bit more like yellow undertone, medium yellow undertone. It's kind of like fit my color perfectly. Actually, I think this might be one here. I think this is one of the color foundation that I just like pick out online and it fit me perfectly. I thought I would like need a darker color. I wish I did have a little bit more a lighter color for my under eye, a darker color for like contouring. You can definitely use that if you pick out like different color and shade. The formulation itself is really soft for you to blend. You can actually use this with the brush. You can actually blend it out with your finger. Both would be perfect. For under eye, me personally, I do need a little bit more like a fuller coverage for under eye. For like the dark circle, I need a little bit more color correcting. So I did go in with another like concealer to have a little bit more like full coverage to kind of like color correct that under eye a little bit. But overall, this foundation, I would grade this more like a 4 out of 5 because I'm more into like medium coverage-ish, and if you're going for more like really natural makeup kind of girl, this can be perfect foundation stick for you. The downside of this foundation is I don't think it's even a downside because it's meant to be more like light to medium coverage. It does pull out a little bit more like oil as like the time go by. So do remember to kind of blot it a little bit. So that's this about it about that foundations. And the other one is going to be the blush. So the blush itself, I love the packaging, but I don't really love the formulations that much. If you're going for more like natural, it's fine, but I don't feel like this have enough like pigment in it for me, even though for like natural makeup, because even if you like tap it with your finger, it's going to give you a little bit more like a light sheer coverage. I keep trying to like building it up, but it doesn't give you that much of like color, and over time as you kind of blending it out to your foundation, it does kind of like fade a lot. And you know that blushes is going to be the first thing that fade out your face since it's kind of like sinking into your pores. So I wish this does have a little bit more like tiny little bit more like pigment in it, and would be perfect, because the formulation itself, it does get a little bit more like, I won't say greasy, it's a little bit more emollient for you to like easy to blend compared to this one. And the foundation, this does have a little bit more emollient and blending to it. It's gonna give you a little bit more like a dewy glow with the blush, but I just need a little bit more like the pigment for it to like oof it up a little bit. So this is gonna be one of my least favorite product for the blushes. And the next one is gonna be the brows products. This is actually one of my favorite new brows products. I keep getting messed up like doing, because I'm used to like this side to be the compartment, and this is gonna be the brush, but I keep going like this, but actually gonna be upside down. So I wish it does have a little bit more products also, but the color itself is kind of like perfect for my brows. So normally I put on like a brows pencil first. So this is my brows without even with a brows pencil. So this is just like the brows gel itself right in here. So the color of it actually perfect for my brows. So I'm definitely gonna use this again. I'm gonna put this right next to like my vanity, my sink in the morning. If you just wake up and want something a little bit light coverage, that's gonna be perfect. So brows gonna be my favorite. The blush is not gonna be one of my favorite, and the next thing is gonna be the brush. So this brush is actually pretty good. I'm definitely gonna trying to use this brush a lot more in the future for like I'm gonna testing it out with other cream foundations, also liquid foundation, to see how well it's gonna blend. But so far I do love this brush. I love me a dense synthetic brush right in here. So the reason why you want to have a little bit more like a synthetic foundation brush, because if you have more like a natural fiber brush, natural fiber does have a little bit more pores in it. It's kind of like, remember your hair does have like micro pores, so you don't want to have a natural fiber brush for any liquid or any cream, because then it's going to help clump into your brush. So you want something a little bit more like a synthetic blend kind of brush. It doesn't have a lot of pores. A majority is going to be more like a porous fiber, so then it doesn't really grab on or soak into your foundation and your cream when you start blending, because you want your foundation to be on your skin and not on the pores of your brushes. So far this brush is really great. I love how dense it is. So this is going to be one of my new favorite brush, and this brush is going to be $30 on Sephora website, and this is $28 for the blush. And then the foundation stick, I think I told you before, is going to be $38. I tried to get for them to send me the lip tint oil. They do have lip tint oil, but then all the color was out, so I couldn't order one to try. So majority they have like lip tint oil, like they have lip oil, blushes. They do have lipstick. I think I have a Merit lipstick with me. I ordered it like a while ago before, but I can't find it. So they do have a lipstick. Those majority are like out. Also they also have like a highlighting balm, mascara, eyebrows, brushes, and the foundation sticks. I haven't tried the rest of the products yet, but I want to try out like the lip products in the future. So if you are interested in me trying those, let me know in the comments right down below. But yeah, so I think that's gonna be the final review for the Merit. So I think overall, if you're looking something like really quick on the sink, just tap it on, blend it out, and leave the door, it's gonna be perfect. If you are something a little bit more fuller coverage kind of girl like me, more like medium beautiful to fuller coverage, then I might need a little bit more coverage, a little bit more powder, a little bit more color into it. But overall, it's really good for like natural. So yeah, so that is probably it for this week review. So if you all have any other questions, leave it right down below. And we have a few exciting news in the future. I might make a video in a week or two to tell you what is going on behind the scene, but right now I have to keep it a secret. So until next video, I'm going to do another review for skincare. So stay tuned for that video coming up with bios on. So yeah, I'll see you again on the next video. Bye bye.